go ahead and get started. Welcome, everyone. Appreciate you all taking the time to join us today. As you know, at Bio1, we're on a constant effort to try and improve our overall services and increase our marketing effectiveness. And today, our partners at 5-Star Marketing Service are going to share with each of you an enhanced program that they have developed that they'd like to run a pilot with a number of Bio1 franchisees for the next 6 months or so. And so we are happy to have them join and share their proposal. What I would say is, after you've heard from what they have to say, if you are interested in talking further with them, I'd ask that you reach out to Fernanda and myself and express your interest, and then we'll work with 5-Star Marketing Services to get you guys all connected and set up and going on the pilot. And with that, I think, John, you're going to be the voice of the team today, right?
Yes, sir. You guys are all yours with me, so bear with me. Well, it's good to see everyone today. I got a chance to meet quite a bit of you over in Florida. We were all experiencing really good weather for HSS. So yeah, we've been in the lab, cooking up this new program for the last couple of months, working really closely with Rick and Danessa. So we're excited to kind of show you guys what we have come up with today. So without further ado, I'll just go ahead and start rolling through this. We can go ahead and go to our first slide. So just kind of a high level going through the agenda for the day. We're going to be announcing 2 pilot programs today that both have limited seats. We want to discuss up front why these pilots are relevant, why they matter, how they could really affect your business. A little bit of about 5-Star Marketing Services. We have made a ton of changes over here in the last couple of months. And so we would like to kind of go through a little bit about our process and how we're trying to keep things organized. And then we'll get into the actual details of each of our 2 pilots. We hope to get to everything I just kind of listed there in the first 30 minutes. And then we'll open up the second part of the call for any questions that the Bio1 team may have for us. So let's go ahead and go to the next slide here. So to talk a little bit about our 2 pilots on a really high level, our core pilot that we're launching is an advanced SEO pilot. And we have had some success building this for another 5-star brand over the last 8 months or so. And we've had to kind of really reshape the way we were thinking with that pilot for how we're going to approach it with Bio1, just because, of course, you guys are such a unique brand, and we want to make sure that we're putting the right foot forward in terms of how we're getting ourselves out there. And so really what's included of this advanced SEO pilot is we're going to really be looking at the website SEO, your Google business profile, user experience, and then ultimately organic lead generation, which when we speak organic, we're really referring to that real estate on Google that's below all the advertising and the maps. We really want to position all of the Bio1 locations right there on top of Google organically for various keywords that will attract the right customers. We do only have 10 seats available in this advanced SEO pilot, primarily due to the fact that, there is no cost to join either of these pilots. I want to say that up front for everyone listening. We are really pulling, between 5-star franchising and 5-star marketing, we're pulling a lot of resources together to try to offer this as a solution for the brand for the next 60 days. And so for that reason, we do have to be selective with how many people participate. Moving on to our second pilot, Beta Elite pilot. This pilot will include everything I just mentioned with the advanced SEO, but it's really suited for the locations who might be interested in, more of a full-scale marketing approach for their location. We're going to be looking at paid marketing, paid advertising through Google, potentially Facebook, maybe. We're going to be looking at organic social media marketing. And then what we're really excited about, and we think is going to be a really good initiative for a brand like Bio1, is B2B audience marketing and networking, specifically through LinkedIn. So again, just to recap, advanced SEO, where we're really looking at search engine optimization, and then beta elite is advanced SEO plus these other core capabilities that we offer here. Okay, can go ahead and keep moving here.
Yeah, and just to answer the question, why do these pilots matter? And the short answer is because they allow us to dig in and understand the brand very quickly and to drive performance very quickly. These graphs that you're seeing are actually results from pilots we've done for both Most Shield and 5-Star Bath over the last 6 months. And essentially, John and I took over 5-Star Marketing about 5 months ago. And the thing that we really wanted to do is, let's not tell, let's show. You guys have heard enough about changes and improvements. We wanted to really come to the table and show all the brands that, hey, we can drive performance, we can make a difference. And so over the last 5 months, we've seen some pretty incredible results. Most of the participants saw at least 100% increase in visibility, multiple locations seeing a double-digit percentage increase in revenue from SEO specifically. So we're coming to you with proven approaches. We're coming to you, to dig in with your business to find out what works for both Bio1, but your brand specifically, your location specifically, and then we will use those learnings and deploy those to the rest of the locations and the rest of the brand to help lift all ships.
Awesome, thanks, Lawrence. So let's go ahead and go into the next slide, and we want to just spend a few minutes kind of introducing the team, the dedicated team that we have for both of these pilots. And so I'll go ahead and hand it over to Rebecca.
Hey guys, I want to say thank you for joining us on this morning. Really appreciate the time and really excited to share more about what we have planned. We'll introduce the team and all our experts here in a second, but I really also want to emphasize the groundwork that has already been laid for Bio1. I mean, we're talking several years, especially the last couple of years, working with the FAC, shout out to them, the brand leadership, and more recently, a lot of one-on-one talks with some of you. And I'm privileged to be a part of that with some of you on the call. So, through that discovery and that groundwork, we've already learned so much about, especially your, the special personas that you work with, the different types of people, how we craft that messaging for all of them, the very unique services, as well as how each of your locations geographically are so unique. So I just want to emphasize that. And we want to take that deeper. We're going to even build on that groundwork. And I really have confidence in this team. So I'll turn it over to them. Lawrence, if you want to tell a little bit more about yourself, but super excited.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've been with 5-Star Franchising for about a decade. Mostly, you know me from work on the brand side. I haven't, as I mentioned before, me and John have really come into the agency on the business side, on the location side, just in the last 5 months. But I've worked mostly on the brand side, developing the brands, developing the assets, the messaging, the technology, that kind of thing. But my history has always been performance marketing, has always been largely focused around small business. Most of my family owns home services. I've, obviously worked with my family to help develop success there. But I've also gone outside, done really big things. I've worked with government agencies. I've worked with, very aggressive industries, law, film, those kind of things. But I have fell in love with 5-Star, and I actually kind of consider it my home, and I've really been passionate about it. I've driven the success for 5 Star Painting to acquisition, driven the success of 5 Star Bath at one point. 60% of all revenue from 5 Star Bath was coming through me and my efforts and my team's efforts. So super anxious, super excited to sink my teeth into this kind of performance, this kind of activity and hands-on ability with Bio1. And so yeah, happy to be here and to work with you guys.
Okay. Hey everyone. For those of you I haven't met, my name is John, and I head up both accounts and creative here at 5 Star. I was lucky to be brought on from Ben Fox and Lawrence a little over a year ago, and for the first year I spent developing the creative, and a lot of the content you guys are now seeing was kind of my big project last year. A little bit about me: I've been in the agency world and creative world and marketing world for just under 20 years. Started out really young and had just, really drive everything I do through vision and storytelling. And so what excites me most about working with Bio1, and I've got to learn this really closely working with the brand, Danessa and Rick and a lot of the franchise owners over the last year. The mission and the cause that a brand like this has, it allows a storyteller like me to do what I do best. You guys already have such an incredible story to tell, and we're really excited to, get to this point. And then the last thing I'll say is, to Lawrence's point, we did really just take over an entire organization, 5 months ago. And so it's quite incredible to be here now. We were hoping to be to this point a couple months ago, and it always takes a little bit longer to build that house, as they say, but we're here now, and we're really excited for what the potential our team can bring to the table for this entire organization moving forward. I'll go ahead and pass it over to Mike and the rest of the team to give a brief intro on themselves.
Yeah, so great to meet everyone. I think a lot of you, or most of you, are meeting for the first time. So my name is Mike Rosa. I've been in the paid ads marketing space since 2010 or so. I've been working with Lawrence on various projects since before that, actually, since maybe call it 2007. And then John and I have been working together on various projects for probably the last 7 years or so, going back to 2018. And my work history is that I was head of marketing for an agency that went from basement startup to Inc. 500 to acquisition. After that, I was CEO of another agency with about 500 SMB clients. And then since then, I've been working on various enterprise level projects. I've worked with Peacock TV and NBC, DreamWorks Animation. But my primary focus is in performance lead generation, performance marketing on the paid ad side of things. So paid search, paid social, video, remarketing, those sorts of avenues. And I've been in finance, insurance, home services, make money online, done just about everything, seen just about everything. So really happy to be a part of the team and bring some firepower to put behind what you guys are trying to do and what you guys are trying to grow.
All right, I guess I'm next. I'm the next picture. I'm Trent. Really excited to be working with you guys. I am the SEO strategist that has been brought on. You can just call me the SEO nerd if you want, because that is my sole focus. That's what I've spent the past 10 years really diving into and gaining a lot of expertise in. Before working with 5 Star, I was the head of SEO at 97th Floor, which is an agency located in the Utah region. Was there for about 7 years, then went and built the SEO department at another agency that was focused specifically on local SEO, which is what has made this such a good match coming into work with the 5 Star different brands, where with the franchises, the focus is the local SEO, getting your local visibility and driving through the organic channel leads that are people in your area who need your service. So I've been loving diving in and really helping set up the structure for these processes. And there's just tons of opportunity here. So really excited to dive in and be working with all of you.
Awesome. Hi, everybody. My name is Kimber Ring. I am the media director here, and pretty much all of my experience is in organic social. I've worked with really big brands. I've worked with a bunch of different franchises. I've worked in-house in different agencies. So I have all different kinds of social media experience. I would say that my approach is very much people first, and that's something that I really appreciate about Bio1 as well. Just your people first take to everything that you do. And so I'm super excited to be working with you guys.
Awesome. And my name's Michael. I go by Cone. There's a lot of Michaels in the world. I'm a producer, project manager. I've been working in the marketing space for about 6 years now. I've been with 5 Star Marketing for almost a year, working with Lawrence and John. I spent a good chunk of last year working with Rick and Danessa and Amber, helping create and craft a lot of the content that has been seen, the new stuff that's been coming out. It's been exciting getting to know everybody and just see what everybody does. My experience in the past has been working with companies like Amazon and Google. I started as a copywriter, writing trainings and marketing, both internal and external marketing for, like I was saying, Amazon and Google and AWS, a lot in the tech space. And I was very excited this last year to move more into the commercial space and work with companies like Bio1, like yourself. So I'll be kind of moving things behind the scenes as we work together. It was nice to meet everybody.
Awesome. Love it. And so I will be your account manager for this pilot. If you sign up for it, get ready because I am going to bother you, but it's going to be great. And I would think of it very much as a dialogue. It's a back and forth. It's a team effort. We did lay out a communication schedule here, you know, based on both for our conversations with the franchisees at the base level. We really want to, you know, be consistent with that, as well as, you know, the opportunity to work with everybody one-on-one. So we will send this out to you guys so you can dig into this a little bit more. I want to point out another statement here that we heard from one of the franchisees, this key statement: you guys want to be owners of your business. You don't want to be managers. So for the marketing side of things, we want to empower you, and this pilot is really going to do that. So yeah, just to call that out. And again, we will go a little faster this next section so we can leave time for Q&A. There's so much more exciting things to talk about with the actual pilot. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I can speak to this part. So once again, my name is Michael. I'll be the main project lead for both of these pilot programs. So holding people accountable on our side for timelines, communication touch points, deadlines, reporting, all that good stuff. Over the next 6 months, we'll have a nice metered rollout so we can all get to know each other, get to know your specific business and territory. So month 1 and 2 is really going to be that foundational period. This is, we're going to triple down on getting organized with everybody. We want all those locations available, invest that time initially with our team. We'll gather all those details to really kick it off to some good success. Then month 2 to 4 is when we're going to drive that initial outreach and marketing. During that portion, we're really going to learn from all that data that comes in, study it further to see how we can then lead into month 4 through 6, which is that optimization phase. We'll see how performance is optimized and how we can grow your business further from there. So this is a full-blown marketing strategy over the 6 months. We want to show you the value of this kind of performance-driven marketing strategy we're outlining. And then if you want to sign up, as Rick said earlier, you want to contact him and Fernanda. He'll pass that information on to Rebecca. We'll go through and qualify the location, and then all the participants will be selected by that middle of February date so we can really get things going and kicked off. And then I'll lay out the project plan for everybody at that point. So
Awesome.
Speed round, but we'll go back to that at some point later, I'm sure.
Yeah, and we really wanted to kind of, again, just lay, even before we got into the strategy, for the Bio One team to know. Just, we're really trying to get organized over here, make sure that our communication schedule and how we're interacting with you guys is very streamlined and straightforward and doesn't take a lot of your time, but gets the right amount of your time and investment towards this pilot. You guys are really going to be crucial towards the success of this pilot. It is your business, and you're the driver of it at the end of the day, who's driving all the success behind it. And so with that, the more contribution we can get from you guys, especially in those first couple of months as the team tries to get everything more organized, is going to be very valuable for us. And so with that, Lawrence is going to speak through some of the last key points here on how our team is going to be tracking success.
Yeah, so obviously we're going to be wanting to understand how we're doing all along the way. And we want to have consensus with you guys as well, to be able to all of us gauge at the end of this, what was the impact, what was the improvement and effect. So obviously we're going to be tracking rankings of your website, rankings of your Google Business Profile, the reach of both of those, and any other digital assets, social, for example. We also want to make sure that we're understanding the impact of that on your traffic, on as we do some of the work here to make your business better, how that's affecting engagement, how that's affecting clicks, calls, form submissions, and then ultimately we're looking really at what's the lift from this, what's the result. So tracking leads, tracking connections and customer inquiries, and hopefully we can with ServiceMinder and attribution translate that to revenue. And the most important, I would say, for us is your feedback through this process. We are part of the pilot. One of the big, most important parts for us of this pilot is how do we make this service more enjoyable, more reactive, more user-friendly for you guys. So we're going to be taking surveys at the beginning and throughout, and then at the end as well. Going to commit to some of the things that you guys are giving to us as feedback and improvements, and be able to hopefully create a better experience as well as a better service. And if you want to scroll.
So yeah, Lawrence, if you now want to talk us through, we're running maybe about 5 behind or so. So let's try to talk through each one of the pilots in 5 minutes if we could.
Yeah, so first I'm going to explain the graphs here. What you're seeing are, each of these graphs are from individual businesses in our pilots the last 6 months, right? And the more green and the darker the green, the better. That shows higher visibility for both Google Business Profile, their website, and other business assets. And so as you see, across the board, in a shorter period of time, we have been able to improve that by doing focusing on 2 specific areas, which is, again, making your business more visible by doing work on the website, doing work on the Google Business Profile, on your social profiles, but then and getting those visible so that people find you first, and then once they are on your website or Google Business Profile, that your business is more memorable. It's standing out. The experience of your website or your business assets are more satisfying, they're more relevant, they're more engaging, and that activity then actually promotes back to visibility. So the more people interact with you and have good experiences with your business, the better your visibility becomes as well. And I'll have Trent dive into the specifics here in the next slide.
Yeah, and I'll just piggyback off that. It's this twofold effect where the more visible you are, the more you show up in Google and searches, the more people visit your website. And then the better they engage with your website, the more that Google is apt to keep you ranking high and even push you higher. So that is this twofold approach that Lawrence has called out. And really to help us get that, we have 4 steps that we're following in order to increase that visibility and increase that engagement. 2 of them that are called out here are, number 1, improving your website, which sounds pretty straightforward, but there are a lot of tactics that we're going to be deploying in order to help increase the relevancy of your website for your services in your area. You can see some of them listed out here, but a lot of it is going in and seeing what type of content Google is favoring in your area and making sure your website is optimized towards that, and that it has that proper user experience for your area. The second approach, the website is really focusing on helping you rank better within Google search. We want to enhance your visibility within the map section of Google as well. And that goes into the second tactic, which is improving your Google business profile. We have a whole bullet list of items to make sure those are optimized and functioning as well as possible in order to get those relevant again in Google's eyes. So adding product tiles, updating the imagery, making sure our categories and our profiles are as optimized as possible. So these are the two main areas that we're going to be focusing on optimizing: your website in as a whole, as well as your Google business profile. As we do those and we start to make them really relevant, we also, if you go to the next slide, we'll be focusing.
Real quick,
okay, go ahead.
Thank them. 10 chats coming in. Please chat your questions. We'll answer them all at the end, but go ahead and start chatting any questions that you have.
Perfect. Yeah, I saw at least one pop up, which was a really great question. And I know we've got a lot to go through, so we will answer those in the Q&A. So we're not ignoring you. We are seeing those. And part of working on both your website and your Google business profile is helping you with that step 3 to be very local and personal. So that's where we're looking at adding more city-specific pages. Your Google business profile is only going to allow you a certain amount of proximity. And depending on your service area, there could be additional cities or suburbs where we'll want to have a specific page created to be able to show up organically in those areas. And then the last step is, again, just making sure people engage on your site, making it so the pages, your Google business profiles are being noticed, they're being remembered, they're being engaged. And that's where we've created a ton of assets that we are going to be utilizing in both areas, the website and the profile, to make it a much better experience and much more engaging experience for the users.
Perfect. Good. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Trent and Lawrence. So again, a lot of stuff jam-packed into the first pilot. Pilot 2 includes everything we just discussed, but a few additional areas that we're going to be looking at. Lawrence, if you want to start with the LinkedIn portion.
Yeah, so this is something that I've had a lot of success with in my career. Mike Rosa and I worked with a private equity group. We were actually able to get up into members of Obama's cabinet through this type of networking, right? What we're going to be doing first off is create a list of key prospects in your area. We're going to focus on, maybe 2 to 3 audience groups. So, property managers, insurance adjusters, we'll work with you to determine what's most important and impactful for you. And we're going to create those lists. We're going to be using LinkedIn. We're going to be using Google Maps. We're going to be using site visitors and enriching that information. We're going to create that list, and then we're going to start reaching out to them. One of your roles will be to cold call. I think you guys are used to that, but you'll have a list of qualified individuals that you can reach out. We'll also be doing the same type of outreach with email and LinkedIn and other avenues. Now, the approach of this outreach is about help. It's the motto: help first, business second. We're not selling, we're helping, we're reaching out. And this develops that familiarity. It develops a connection, a trust with your business and them. And then if you go to the next slide here real quick, then once they understand who you are and they're more comfortable with your business, they'll remember you. And then in step 3, we'll start to market to them with different types of ads and other types of targeting emails. And that's where we get more of the direct ask. So the initial job is, the initial contact is all about establishing you guys as, help first, business second. We're here for you. The step 3 part of this is, being more direct through the ads and through other promotions. So we're able to capitalize off of the initial effort. And then step 4 is the organic. That'll have Kimber jump in.
Yeah, just really quickly, if you want to look down at this example at the bottom here, this is kind of the look that we're going for. We really want to focus on sharing your specific Bio One story. So coming up with the strategy and really learning the details that are specific to your franchise and how we can share and present that on social in an organic way. One of those pieces of the strategy is creating something called user-generated content, which are literally just videos shot on an iPhone that perform well on social and that are relatable to people in your local area. So essentially our goal is for someone to visit your page and get an idea of who you are beyond just the overarching Bio One brand, and be able to see the people behind it. So that's our strategy there.
Yeah, and I want to emphasize that this is about personalizing your Bio One business around you and your team, separating it a bit from the pack, right? And this beta elite strategy of outreach, curating lists, reaching out in two layers, one as, establishing that connection and that reputation, the other as, more of the direct promotion, and then having a really good brand behind that and, assets behind that, that has been tried and true even for 5-star franchising. You may have bought a franchise off of this specific strategy, right? But I don't think we've ever employed that to the local level and growing your network. And again, I've had a lot of success with this. Mike has too. There's so much potential here, and so we're really excited about this part of it. But we would want you guys to make sure that you're all about it as well.
Okay. Awesome. Well, thanks everyone on the team for going through the strategies on both pilots. And I'm sure before we open up here in the last 25 minutes for questions, I'm sure there are a lot of questions, but one of them might be, what are the requirements in these two pilots? And so I'll just quickly read through these. And so for both pilot 1 and 2, those first 4 bullet points are the same. You must be currently maintaining a current SEO subscription with 5-star marketing services. We will need access to your Google business profile, LinkedIn, YouTube, social accounts. Again, we're looking for contributors too, right? We're looking for locations who really want to put the extra time into this to get a lot out of it. And so contributing local content, when we get to social media, Kimber and Rebecca and team might be reaching out to your team to try to capture photos or whatever that might be. So that contribution of content. And then, of course, as we said earlier, your feedback and constant feedback is going to be really great for our team to be getting in real time. And then when we shift to pilot 2, the only 3 additional requirements is because we are going to be performing outreach with curated audience lists. The idea is that we set up a system, and as we're reaching out to your audience and they're responding, we will need locations to respond to these lead opportunities. And the last note here is a small advertising budget. We're flexible here, but when it comes to Google and Facebook and spending the additional dollars for advertising, there needs to be some ongoing monthly PPC budget allocated for pilot number 2.
And I would just like to re-emphasize that none of this happens. We're coordinating with you. This is, consider us coming in and acting as consultants with your business. We're working together. We're not just taking charge. We're not just taking over. What we've done with both Bath and MoShield is, really dissected with you, your business. We've been able to understand some specific needs one location has over another, even just around geographic areas, and be able to create assets unique to that business that they didn't have before. That's really helped make a difference. We're going to be interviewing you guys, how you would represent your business, what you would like to say about you and your team. We're going to use that all throughout your marketing, all throughout your website. We're going to personalize this around you. It's really our chance to really work with you at a level that no one has, I believe. And we've seen that from that personalization, that close work, really good fruits. So just the main thing that we're looking for, just people who are willing to participate. Get on the phone with us, book an hour here and there for an interview, get in front of us with helping us understand your territory, your needs and wants. If you are part of the beta elite, that you will follow up on those lists that we curate. You will, it's going to be simple. This is scalable work. This isn't something that, it's going to take all your time, but it's going to be valuable work. And so those are the main things that I want to emphasize, is that we're looking for willingness, right? We're not charging for this. We just want your willingness and proactivity.
Okay, let's go ahead and open it up for questions. We've got just a little over 20 minutes left here. We have 2 questions in the chat here. Feel free to raise hands. We'll go ahead and start with the 2 in the chat. So Jake PC asked, while you're optimizing the website, will there be any initial ranking drop off? Trent, is that a question you'd like to answer?
Yeah, I can feel that. That's a great question. And the answer is typically no. So we're not like restructuring your entire page or site. What we're going to do is we're going to look at your main location page to start, and we're going to use the core content on it to start. But then we're going to look at what Google's favoring your area, and then optimize it to make it more unique to your area and more unique to other Bio One pages out there on the internet, just so it has that more unique feel. It's custom to you and it's custom to your area. So when doing this, I've optimized hundreds of pages on thousands of websites, and there typically isn't a drop. You just see growth when we're making these optimizations, because it's focused on doing a lot of research, understanding what needs to be changed or tweaked in order for it to be more relevant to Google. And once you make those changes, Google typically likes it more. So then you see a favorable increase with your rankings.
Thanks, Trent. Great question, Jake. Okay, so Bio One of Oceanside is up next. And I was given the excuse that Google is changing the local SEO organic searches by making it more difficult and forcing companies to focus more on ad pay. How is your strategy going to overcome this new local SEO organic search challenge?
I'll jump in here again. This is something that there's always rumbling that Google is pushing to get people to pay more ads, but inherently, like their business is built on the organic channel. The ads are a way for them to make money and revenue. But if the organic listings, if those feel gamified, or if it feels like you have to like pay to play, that's where they lose a lot of credibility. So even though you'll hear this come up from time to time, this typically is not true. That you have to, they're trying to force people to buy more ads. The real thing in order to overcome any really organic local SEO strategy is making your site, as we talked about, more relevant for your area and more engaging with your customers. So that's really what we're focused on, is not competing against ads. Ads will always have their place, but that isn't a barrier when it comes to local SEO. The barrier is making the site as relevant and optimized for your customers as possible.
Awesome. Another great question. Thank you so much. All right, Christopher Davis is up next.
Yes, thank you. I'm quite interested in the advanced program, being a part of it. Now, let's say that that there are either more qualified people that get into it, or just by the numbers, I don't get into it. It is showing success in other 5-star franchises. My assumption is that the program will continue. That being the case, how will you manage the program with limited resources? If you, and I say limited, let's say you've got 5-6 people right now putting an intense amount of effort into 15 different franchises. Let's say that you had another 20, 25, 30 interested after this pilot program. What sort of attention will those folks get? And I ask the question, in the event that I'm not part of the first 10. for the
And
advanced?
It's a great question.
that's great, and I think this goes along the line of, what happens after this, and the price point as well from Michael Ballinger. So two things is, there's a lot that we need to sift through with this strategy, and the goal is, we're going to throw a lot into this, but there's probably just a few things that actually move the needle specifically for Bio One, right? And so that there's a lot of work going into this, but then at the end, we really understand what works, and then we focus on scaling on that. The aspect of how we adjust this for the same, the goal here is to have improvement on what's already being offered at this price point, at your current price point. So this is helping us to just refine and improve the base service. There will also be an enhanced service that comes from this as well, if we need it. For example, LinkedIn and that type of outreach, that's not going to be part of an SEO package. And then how we'd be able to scale all that extra attention and effort is just essentially on the speed and the velocity of the work being done. So if we're able to do quite a bit of work in 6 months, first off, we're going to reduce a lot of the noise there and just focus on what really works. But let's just say what really works, we might have to make a slower pace for the rest of the locations, but that work will still be going on at the same price point.
Thanks.
Yeah, I'd like to also just answer in a way, Christopher, where this kind of touches on Juan's question as well. Again, it's safe to say that historically, 5-star has ran very mean and lean when it came to marketing, when it came to the resources that were here prior to Lawrence and I. And even the entire last year, we really sat more on the creative side up until about 5 months ago. And I'm really happy to report that it's truly been a big, a lot of help from Rick and Brand and 5-star franchising as well, to get the resources you guys are seeing in this call right here. We have a really rock star team that we didn't have 5 months ago. A lot of specialists in multiple different areas where there might have just been one person overseeing all those areas before. So I think, to answer your question on economy of scale and how we're going to scale, the resources are there. We really want to make sure that through these pilot efforts, we get the system and the organization there with you guys. And once we have that, we're pretty confident that scaling this. Now, to Lawrence's point, there will be different, offerings for locations who want to dominate their business versus locations who just want really good marketing. There's a layer of an engagement that each franchise will want to put into their business. And so ultimately, after the 6 months, we hope to kind of package these offerings in a way that is suitable for wherever you might want to get in on your end. And then any other, Lawrence, do you want to take a stab at answering Juan's question from your perspective too, in terms of, how is SEO different today? How are these strategies different? How are they better than what historically has been done for Bio One?
Yeah, the question from Juan is, what makes you better at this than previous SEO optimization at Bio One? So first and foremost is Google over the last 3 years has really, really ramped up their algorithms to focus on what's real, what's true. And part of that has been on what's called, the acronym is EAT, but it stands for expertise, experience, authority, and trust. That's what they determine as the most important factor in what someone searching on Google will want to see and feel comfortable with. Now, that is all around the owner and the team, the people that the user is going to do business with, right? And so that's where we're coming from, is we're coming from this as, this is your business. Let's make it your business. Let's figure out a way that you are reflected, your team is reflected in your business and on your pages and on your website and throughout your assets, so that when people come to it, they feel like they're talking to a person. They're able to establish a connection and distinguish you from other businesses. I joke around that will make you famous, right? And that is, again, that this is an evolving discipline. This is evolving preference that Google has been doubling down on for 3 years. And so we're super hyper focused on this. And this type of work has never been done for any of 5-star franchising, not just Bio1. To be able to go deep dive with you guys and really pull out what is you about your business. And again, we've seen it already happen in other 2 brands. We're coming to you with something that of a track record of proof.
Great questions. Okay, we still have another 12 minutes here. Any other questions from the Bio1 team? Shoot away.
Yes, this is Ivan from Bio1 of Colombia. I wanted to ask for the second pilot, if we currently have or working with other company for the PPC, how does that work during this pilot program? And second piece to that is that the last item there, is that in addition to our current PPC budget?
Yeah, so great questions. First is, let's clarify, the PPC that we're going to be doing in the Beta Elite is focused around the people that we've targeted, the list, specifically the list that we curate. So it's not out there, Google ads, anyone searching on Google. No, it's how do we get in front of the people that we have identified as important to your business, either from like a, central hub of jobs, like a property manager, or, some other level of influence. And those are where the ad budget is going. And so it wouldn't interfere with any kind of general, other general PPC service going on. And then, yeah, the $1,000 is just an estimate. We may get to that point with your business and find that it's not worth it or it's not needed. Or it may be something like, hey, this is a good opportunity. There's a lot of opportunity here. Maybe you want to spend a little bit more, but it's going to be performance driven. We're not just throwing money out there on awareness. We're going to be tracking results and we're going to determine whether or not it's worth it. But we're making this decision together. One other thing I just wanted to clarify as well is that the majority of work, and I'd say almost exclusively, will be, that we do with your website, the new designs, the content, et cetera, is going to be on the Bio1 Inc. pages. And there's a bunch of reasons for that, but mainly it's because Bio1 Inc. is going to be able to add the work of all the locations that we're doing to boost your location. So when we are all working on the same domain, there's a lot of things that Trent's coming in with to help create that domain in a more authoritative, more trustworthy way with Google. So anything on that domain gets that association, gets better trust, gets better visibility and rankings from that. So I just want to clarify that as well.
Quick question on the tracking. I know we had a problem before when they came out with the clicking directly to the call. It came in as a different phone number, and a lot of times when we would reply, or they would try to reply to us or send us a text, we wouldn't get it because it was on a different phone number. Is that going to be a problem as well? Because I know a lot of us, we get pictures sent in or texts sent in, and a lot of times we'll be sitting there and then a client will call and say, did you get my text? And so then I finally figured out, what number are you calling? So I had to figure out, if I'd lost anybody during that time. And then I finally just had to get it every single call. I have to ask them what phone number they called. So yeah. Is that going to be a problem?
That is going to be a priority. We've had similar issues with other brands with tracking and bookings and systems, but we're hovering on that. We'll work directly with our developers and developers with Shane's team or 5-star franchising tech. Like, it becomes a very urgent priority when we're in this pilot situation. So I don't know enough about your situation to determine the extent of it, but we're already working with Rick and the brand on a global, call tracking to help facilitate and resolve any issues from the past. But your locations, we're definitely going to make sure are high on the list to have integrity there, from click to call.
So I have a comment, I guess. I am a self-proclaimed moron when it comes to most things that have to do with marketing and SEO and social media and all that goes along with it. I think I'm on my 5th or 6th SEO account manager since I've been here, and not even 2 years. I've completely canceled my PPC campaign because I was spending like $3,500 a month in ads, and with Chris. I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter. But I wasn't even getting the gross revenue to cover the ad spending that I was doing. But part of the problem I think that I've had throughout this process is I haven't been able to get somebody to spend enough time with me to explain exactly what's happening and why things are going or not going the way that they should or that I want them to. Kind of hearing the pitch, I guess, for both programs, it sounds like that's something that is also a priority, is one-on-one time with the individual owner, and I would hope then even taking it a step further and kind of explaining what's going on behind the scenes, because I would like to know. I would like to know and understand it and learn about it. I mean, an educated owner giving feedback seems like would be a lot more beneficial to the brand as a whole. So I would hope that would be kind of acceptable, maybe, or are you looking for people that are a little bit more advanced in the process, I guess?
No, it's a great point, Brandon, and I love the overall comment. I think it's important for everyone to hear as well, and I think this is probably the biggest area that we're trying to put our attention. Hopefully, some of the Bio1 team can see again the layer of organization that we want to put into this relationship with each one of you guys. And one of the biggest things we've done is we have now given Bio1, the brand, the true dedicated account manager, Rebecca, who has been working with Rick on the brand side this last year. I've worked with Rebecca for about 4 years now. She's just such a great, point of contact. She's going to make sure you guys are taken care of from a communications perspective. So that's one thing we've done. And you're absolutely right. And there's not much I can say in terms of how things have gone, why they've gone this way for this past year, especially beyond, prior to the time that I had stepped in. And I will say that when we first stepped in, Lawrence and I did try putting together a new structure. And what we have determined for these 2 pilots is that Rebecca is going to be the best point of contact, primarily to offer that one-on-one support moving forward. And then the second thing we've done is we're really pulling in the specialist. And so these one-on-one times, and Rebecca will be the first to say she's not necessarily an expert in all these different things, but Trent's an expert. Lawrence is an expert. Kimber's an expert, and while we might not, we definitely don't require any of the 5-star or the Bio1 owners be experts at marketing. That's what we are, right? But with that being said, your layer of involvement and education, it's really up to each franchisee. We are here to support. We are here to pull. Rebecca will certainly pull in the right specialist if, Brandon, you have questions about SEO or if you have questions about PPC. And so I think we are taking a lot of steps in the right direction to try to circumvent any of those past related concerns that you guys have all been experiencing. Does that answer your question, Brandon?
It does. I mean, I'm not a focus on the past person really. Like, I'm everybody knows kind of some of the turmoil that Bio One is going through currently and probably will continue to go through internally and externally. I'm kind of somebody of the belief that I'm here and I need to make the best of what I got. So, I don't really care about what happened in the past because it was in the past and it is in the past. And I'm trying to figure out ways to move forward. So it's exciting to me to, see that these things are happening. I mean, from what I gather in situations like this, you're looking to kind of go all in on a few of the offices, see what works, see what doesn't, and then, kind of take the lessons learned to the brand as a whole, which makes sense. I mean, you can optimize the process and dwindle down into the few things that you really see making a difference, and then apply that to the group as a whole. So, I mean, yeah, it makes total sense. You can't run a pilot like this and include everybody. So you pick, a handful of offices that sort of cover all your bases, and I'm sure you're going to be looking at demographics and geography and the owners themselves and all those things. I mean, it makes sense. You're just going to try to grab a bunch of data and stuff it all into a few of these offices and see what you get out of it. So that's
sum it up. That's a great way to sum it up, Brandon, in a lot of ways, because it is somewhat problematic to try to approach performance-based marketing and get aggressive with tactics across an entire system, as we've experienced in the past. And so, hey gang, we are at time. I want to take 2 quick minutes. There's one last question in here. We will continue. Go ahead, Lawrence.
Let me just jump on that. By one of Oceanside, the question was, what's for those not joining the pilot, what's currently being done with the SEO package they're paying with, and will this take away from time and assets to, from what you guys are already paying for? And the answer is no, that will not. And what is being done is what has been agreed to be done. But there's been other things that we've already learned and are implementing with your base package right now. So for example, we've developed 4 additional pages that you guys have not had to help with conversion rate and rankings. We're waiting on approvals and design and those things, but that's going to be rolled out to everybody. There's other learnings that we've taken from these pilots, for example, that are going to be rolled out immediately to the base package as well. So our work with other brands has actually helped to improve the base package. So short answer is everything that we've agreed to do is being done. And then on top of that, we're already proactively improving and making changes to your base package. So whether you participate in this or not, we're not going to wait. If something's working in the pilot, specifically with Buy One, we're going to just start moving that out to the base package.
Okay, last question, Christopher Davis.
Yeah, thank you. Just a quick question. So I am interested. How do we express that interest? And if it is through Rick and Fernanda, what's Rick's email?
Yeah, what we'll do is we're going to share this entire presentation with the system and points of contact, next steps, everything in a recap email that will go out today. You will have it in your inbox.
Okay.
That will be Rebecca.
Yeah, so Chris, just send a note to me and Fernanda, and I just copied the email in the chat.
Oh, thanks, Rick.
Well, thanks again, everyone, so much for your time, your commitment to 5-Star Marketing Services as a partner. Our commitment to you is really going to take a level up this year. We're looking forward to making 2025 year the best year for Bio One yet, and doing it together with you all. So